In the last days, some are going to depart from the faith, even the faith that was once delivered to the saints. Here is a message for God's people. In the last days, those who have the faith, he says, some are going to depart and give heed to what? Seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Now, the question is, what is the faith in the last days? Here is the what? Patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and have the faith of. So here we found the faith. Because right after this verse, you'll see in verse 14 through 16, Jesus coming in the clouds. Even when we look at this message, speaking about in the first angel's message, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And we know that only one church on the face of this earth has fulfilled this message. When it speaks about the hour of his judgment is come, and connected with Daniel chapter 8 and verse number 14 unto 2,300 days, and then shall the sanctuary be cleansed, because the judgment was basically during the day of atonement. The day of atonement. The same judgment you see in Daniel chapter 7, verse 9 and verse number 10, where it speaks about the Ancient of Days. God the Father came into this judgment, and the books were open, and the judgment was set. That same Daniel chapter 7, verse 13 and 14, when it shows the Son of Man coming with the clouds into the judgment. Into the judgment, which, according to our previous studies here, we see that it comes down to October the 22nd, 1844. And only one church had proclaimed this message, and it's only one people that is actually speaking of that has the oracles of truth, that has these truths for the last days that must be preached to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people, and that's the Seventh-day Adventist church. But if we understand this truth, that this is speaking about this denominated people who were basically called in such a time to do this great commission, to take the gospel to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people in this judgment hour, the scripture said in 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse number 1, the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the last days that some shall depart from what? The faith. The faith in the last day is the Seventh-day Adventist church. The truth that the Seventh-day Adventists have. So the scriptures have said, even in the last days, in this church that God has called for such a time as this, many will depart from this faith.